Alrighty, let's do some coping MAGA. With CPAC underway, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at any of the interesting MAGA cope stuff, and then of course Monday we will take a look at all the stuff that happened this weekend at CPAC, but, you know, for now we'll tide ourselves over with some MAGA cope. Excuse me. The left thinks so poorly of BAME individuals that they reckon they're incapable of securing a form of ID to ensure they can take part in our elections. Papers for the pub and elsewhere would discriminate against the young and fit, normalize ID checks, and is fundamentally un-British. Oh, this one's good. The year is 2052. I hug my pillow and clutch my Cara Dune action figure as I watch my bootleg copy of The Muppet Show. I hear the sirens. They're coming for me, and I don't have much time left. I whisper my goodbyes to my illegal Mr. Potato. That's a good one. The Donald Trump Express, a real working HO scale electric train collection inspired by our nation's 45th president. Oh, God. Celebrate the legacy of Donald Trump's historic presidency. Since his inauguration on January 20th, 2017 as our nation's 45th president, Donald John Trump began fulfilling his promise to build on America's capacity for greatness. To commemorate his leadership and legacy as our former president, as well as a remarkable time in our nation's history, Hawthorne presents the Donald Trump Express. How much is this? Hold on, where's the price? 3 easy payments of $26.66 each. That's actually cheaper than I thought. Although it is only these, is it just these 3 cars? It comes with a track though, it said. I wonder how big the track is. I'm not into model trains, so I don't know. Can you imagine having the burden of both being a model train person and a Trump supporter? One or the other, guys. Don't put a hat on a hat, okay? You gotta pick one personality thing that people are like, okay. March is National Stop Blaming White People Month. Wow. Yeah, did you guys see this? This is at CPAC this year. It's a literal golden idol of Donald Trump, which is on brand for a cult. I just wish a single person with self-awareness would insert themselves into the situation and explain why that's a bad idea. Let's see. Oreo Cookies says trans people exist, which is just a neutral statement about reality. I say this as a trans person. Last time I checked, we do indeed exist. And this person says, why even take a political stance on this? This is why America is so divided. Even cookies have to be divisive. Chat, did you know my existence and the existence of people like me is divisive? My bad. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to divide the country by being born. My bad.
Alongside Nick Fuentes, a prominent far-right activist. This video shows her staring at the image moments later. Her former friend told us she revered him as a god. Williams is due to appear in court next month. Our investigation is part of the evidence being considered by the FBI. Rohit Katru, News at 10.
The woman who stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop is a Nick Fuentes fan. Shocking, eh? She was wearing Nick Fuentes merch, apparently, too. I don't recognize Nick Fuentes merch off the top of my head. So, I'm gonna have to trust him on that one. NASCAR president says sport won't tolerate racism, and Ann Coulter responds very reasonably. The man who killed NASCAR. She saying NASCAR is inherently racist? It's not. It's people driving around in circles competently, but that doesn't have to involve racism at all. What is this shit? Oh no!
Welcome all to the Trump second annual cult meeting. Welcome all. Great Trump, can you please leave us a message? Me and Petey and the Hulk. Oh, the great Trump has left us a message. Biden sucks!
Are these people okay? I don't think they've been okay. The Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's website, says, Dems, all you need to do is follow the science. The science. And then it's a highway? Does Ben Shapiro not know how to drive? There are lines on the road to follow, Ben. What? Mr. Potato Head is no longer a Mr. Hasbro, the company that makes the potato-shaped plastic toy, is giving the Spud a gender-neutral new name, Potato Head. The change will appear on boxes this year. And Mark Dice says, it's time for Republican states to secede. The first Civil War, well, that was over slavery, one of the worst atrocities human beings have ever committed against each other. What was the second Civil War about in America? They made my anthropomorphic potato gender neutral. Yeah, that'll do it. We're in the dumbest timeline, and I hate everything and everyone. Oh no, this is on Tim Pool's. I'm so disappointed that I can spot Tim Pool's podcast set, like, from this angle. I don't even have to see Tim Pool.
And I had a woman. So we did a big sale 2 weeks ago, and I had a woman called, and she said, I'm on your website, and I want to order this ammunition, but I'm confused. It's asking me to check this box that says I didn't vote for Joe Biden. And I said, well, what can I help you with? And she said, well, I did vote for Joe Biden. And no. I said, well, you know, to be honest with you, we'd rather not take your money. And she just kind of said, what? How, are you serious? I said, yeah. Did you know that Joe Biden wants to ban the online sale of ammunition? And have you actually read any of Joe Biden's gun control plan? And she said, oh, yeah, I mean, I've read it, but you really aren't going to take my money? I said, no, I don't need it. I appreciate the call. So we did a big sale.
That's fine. I don't really care. If he wants to do that with his business, fine. I'm actually not sure about the legality of not serving people based on their political affiliation, but I don't... Is that illegal? If it's legal, I don't really care. I think it's a little pathetic, but he's allowed to do what he's gonna do. Ray says, all I'm saying is we never had weather like this when Trump was president. I don't think that's true. Oh, did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene's shit post in Congress? Political affiliation is not a protected class nationally. That's what I thought. It's not a time for unity, but separation. Come out and be separate. A time to be counted. Sheep, right. Goats, left. Why did they not flip the... I'm a little confused as to why they did that way. I want my vaccination now, and my social security check, and my farm subsidy, and where's my COVID relief check? Stop socialism. Sure. Liz Cheney says GOP has to stop being part of white supremacy, and Sebastian Gorka says, was Liz Cheney ever a conservative? The mask doesn't even exist anymore. It's like a piece of cellophane that they're just vaguely hanging over their faces at this point. Someone wrote Trump won, making this probably the only piece of embarrassing concrete in the country. Liberals ruin everything, says person who's defacing public property, and not even nicely. I'm going to start wearing a cowboy hat as a big screw you to leftists and Democrats. I do not understand what right-wingers think we hate. The other day I tweeted about this, and there was someone, I think it was Doomcock, who we cover on this show sometimes, and he was like, tweet this picture and make it your banner to trigger the libs, and it was just like a busty woman in a bikini, and I tweeted about it, and I was like, am I supposed to be triggered like this? Like, people on the left tend to be pretty sex positive. I have no problem with, like, people, like, being attractive. I don't think they understand anything about anything, to be entirely honest. Rootsy Go Blue, thank you for 5 gifted subs to the channel. I'll get to other bit messages when I'm done with this segment, but I just wanted to point that out. Thank you. We covered the snowball conspiracy theory on Tinfoil Tuesday, where weirdos on the right think that the snow that fell in, like, Texas is not really snow, and that Biden made fake snow. It's a whole thing. And this person says, what they're saying is true. Real snow created by God doesn't leave a black burn mark when fire touches it. Artificial snow does. The government has the capability to change the weather. Their goal is to turn Texas into a blue state, and I'm not trolling. I'm being very serious. How would snowing make Texas a blue state? I don't understand the A to B there. It's more like A to X. There's not a direct, like, explain that thought, please. What, is Steven Crowder still being a bitch about the election?
What I want to focus on is something that I would swear under oath, penalty of perjury, what I'm about to present to you, because Dominion isn't needed. I'm not saying that nothing nefarious happened with Dominion. I just can't confirm it. Yeah. I can confirm to you that these people voted from, or who may or may not be real people, voted from addresses that do not exist. So just because I don't address some issue relating to voter fraud doesn't mean that I don't believe there's foul play. I do have to, unfortunately, hold ourselves to the standard of doing our due diligence and only confirming what we've seen with our own eyes. But
Unfortunately, my producers tell me I will get mega sued if I commit libel or slander. So as it turns out, I guess I have to fact check certain things. What do you mean, unfortunately, Steven? You big piece of trash.
By the way, let's contrast that with the left. What does the New York Times have to say? What does MSNBC have to say? No evidence of voter fraud. Well,
right, because there's no evidence of voter fraud. They can say that since that's a factual statement. That's the difference. He's literally saying, well, the news makes statements. Why can't I make false statements? They're both kinds of statements. What a joke.
Really? Have you looked through the voter listings? Have you gone to these addresses?
Right.
There's no...
Yes, I've literally seen news reporting where they go and they check up on some of these claims of voter fraud. They went to a house of someone that a bunch of people like you on the right said, this person's dead and voted, and actual reporters who actually do their job went to that person's house, and he's alive. He happens to have the same name as his father, who is dead, and you idiots confused the two. So yes, Yes, they have, Stephen. Thank you for asking.
No burden of proof on them.
No.
There's no requirement of any effort. So we really are held to a different standard. And
no, your standard is you're making the claim. You're claiming that there was voter fraud. You have the burden of proof. That's how the burden of proof works.
And I think it's important to focus on what we can verify and prove. And then hopefully, some of this evidence at some point could be admitted. Now.
Any day now. Hey, remember when this happened on Steven Crowder's show? Thanks, YouTube. Keep it classy. Oklahoma ranked 7th least educated state in the U.S. for 2021. And Jerry says, yet we still voted for Trump. You sure did. You sure did. Apparently, the Muppets have now been canceled. There's nothing these psychos won't destroy. Liberalism is a disease. It isn't liberalism any longer. We are in a full-blown war with communism. Guys, the Muppets isn't canceled. It's literally the opposite of canceled. Disney Plus just put the entirety of the Muppets show on Disney Plus. It's just that when they put it all on there, you know, the opposite of canceling, making it available to anyone who buys the service, they put a disclaimer that's like, hey, some of the depictions of racial groups are not the best because this came out in the 70s. You can still watch it. No episodes have been deleted. You can watch every single episode in its entirety. It's a fucking disclaimer. It's fine. It's not being canceled in any way. Oh, here's one of the people doing the snow thing.
Thank you, Bill Gates, for trying to fucking trick us that this is real snow. You'll see, it's not melting, and it's going to burn. Snow don't burn. Snow fucking melts. No water, no dripping, no nothing. If I put this shit in the microwave, it's gonna start sparking because...
For those who don't know what's actually going on there, two things are happening. One, the water that does actually melt into liquid is being absorbed into the rest of the snow because it's a big snowball. And secondly, the burning is happening because of the butane or whatever fuel is in the lighter is combusting and leaving residue on the snow. There's also some level of sublimation going on when you put a flame that close to fire. Some of it's going to evaporate immediately and skip the liquid stage. My new stamp, best $20 I've spent all year, and it's a stamp that says Trump won 2020. Here's the evidence, and then it's a link to patriots.win, which you may know as the Donald.win, but they changed their address sometime after the inauguration, for obvious reasons. How I feel as a Trump supporter right now, at this point, I'd be okay with it. Yikes! $500 million locked, loaded, and pointed say we want to see tax returns of Clinton's, Obama, Petty Joe, hiding Hunter, Pelosi, and all the criminal politicians of which Trump isn't one. Well, Obama and Biden's are publicly available from their elections because Donald Trump was the first politician in the modern era to not release some previous years of tax returns. So Obama's and Biden's are available already. I don't know about Pelosi or anything. But the 500 million thing, that's more people than live in the United States. So, unless you're counting people dual-wielding pistols as two people. But that doesn't count. God's wrath is being poured out over America for thinking Biden won. Trump will win in 2024, being the second president in history to win and serve 3 terms. That would be 2 non-consecutive terms, not 3 terms. To those who don't believe the truth, I cast your demons out in Jesus' name. Noah was labeled crazy too, then came the flood. Sure. I want to show you guys a...
Man, he's 2-0. You can't impeach him.
I think we watched that in the last MAGA Cope. I want to show you a thread that I made on Twitter the other day. I'll show you one sec. I think I posted this, like, last night. I regularly go on, like, the QAnon website, not the QAnon website, a QAnon website, and I go to the Donald.win, which is now Patriots.win, and I just like to find posts and share them with people because I find it very interesting, as you can tell from the premise of this show. And let's take a look at some of them. These are from the Q subreddit. Anyone else sick of hearing about 2024? To all the idiots saying Trump will win in 2024, hey jack-offs, we don't have an effing country left by then. What makes you think Dems won't simply just steal it again, especially after 4 years in control of all 3 branches? What? All 3 branches? One of those branches is the judiciary, and conservatives control the Supreme Court. Does this person know what the 3 branches of government are? Do any of the mainstream moron talking heads supposedly on our side, Fox, Breitbart, Bannon, Newsmax, understand this? Or are they in on it too? They're definitely in on it. Please cancel Fox, Breitbart, Steve Bannon, and Newsmax. I'm so sick and tired of people getting excited for the possibility of a MAGA return. 4 whole years from now, we'll all be chipped in camps and sterilized if the 2020 election fraud is not exposed. You people talking about 2024 are literally being led off a cliff. Not what literally means. Yep, I'm still waiting to find out more about is being done about 2020 election fraud. And then, and 2018, and 2016, we would have gotten a supermajority in 2016 with the good people. With good people had the election been fair. Trump surprised them. They didn't expect the support he had and rigged only their own races. They wised up in 2018. We need justice for decades of cheating. So they're retroactively making claims of election fraud not only applied to 2020, but they're retroactively claiming that it was in, like, every election. Anyone clinging onto 2024 or 22 is wasting time. The other side is not waiting for justice. They know we've done nothing so far. They're counting on that carrying on. After March 4th, it's time to reorganize and make a move. Here comes some bad shit. This guy, Kobe's. Oh no! His name is Kobe's Helicopter. That's a yikes. Says, if it comes to a time of no hope for the military to take back the country, let us say 2024, it is then time for guerrilla warfare. The way you can do the most damage is by blending in with the leftists, not too vocally, but enough that they think you're one of them. Then take action when you know nobody is looking, like taking down targets such as politicians and infrastructure. Then brave, hooray, captain of the... I don't know what this is. Oh, this is probably a line from something. To every man upon this earth death cometh soon or late, and how can a man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? So this person's literally just, you know, telling people to commit terrorism. So that's fun. Don't do that. Freedom Flower Delta says, it's because they need the American people to accept the rigging and forget about it. This tells me it's the only way they have won any elections for decades. The Reagan landslide was too much for them. And then it's got the anti-Semitic them echoes. And what about after the 4th? Still going to ask people to suck on the winds of hope? After the 4th, we need a new direction before we get led straight to the camps. No doom here, just reality. The peoples of truth, law, and order? Nah, the sheeple who didn't see it coming is more like it. This one's pretty funny. If you think that God is not behind President Trump, think again. It's unbelievable that one man can cause such fear and panic in the deep state. If you think that God is not behind President Trump, you're mistaken. But it's the wrong form of your. I don't see many misspellings and typos. This isn't a typo. I think this is just a mistake. I don't see many mistakes like that in memes. I guess I'm getting memes from better sources than the QAnon site. Nice Photoshop of Trump with a sword, though. The whole purpose of the anal swab thing is to further demoralize through shame. People better draw the line somewhere. Maybe it's spreading the cheeks so a stranger can stick a swab on your butthole. And someone responds, that and these degenerates are totally obsessed with the anus. Conspiracy theory of the day, public schools. My kids went. If I had not taught them cursive at home, they would not even know how to read it, much less write it. No longer in the curriculum. I think they are trying to raise generations of people who do not know how to read the Constitution. First of all, I learned cursive as part of my schooling. You know when I use it? When I sign documents. It's literally all. It's literally the only time. Wasting as much time as we did in school learning cursive was a terrible mistake, even for my generation, much less current generations. Of course, they shouldn't be learning cursive. Second of all, I do read cursive, and if I need to go read the Constitution, which I have, I've referenced it on this show before, do you think I go to the original cursive document? No, it's a pain in the ass to read. You go and you read a printed out, normal text version of it. Jesus Christ. Frustrating. So yeah, that's what some of the QAnon people are up to. Weird stuff. That's probably it for the MAGA Cope today. Just wanted to peek inside, see how they're doing on, I was gonna say CPAC Eve, but it's not Eve, it's going on right now. Just during CPAC. You get it. So yeah, let's move on to the next thing.